Hey everyone, this is Demari. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And today I'm going to be doing the August 2020 monthly tarot reading for the sign of Aries. Now please keep in mind this is a general reading, so it may not apply to each and every one of you. However, you can take a look at this month's reading in regards to your sun, moon and rising signs. So do take a look at your natal chart, see the corresponding zodiac signs, and see which video's title resonates for you most. But in reality, you can take this in regards to whatever placement you feel is resonating for you most, particularly if you have multiple prominent placements in the sign of Aries. Okay, so just to let you know, I will be using a Celtic cross style spread, doing it a little bit differently this month. Firstly, I'll be pulling the key messages from the almost said the intuitive tarot from the Rider-Waite deck, and then secondly, I'll be pulling some messages using actually the Bicycle Bros Mind deck. So this isn't actually a tarot deck, but I'll be using it as such. All right, so let's get into your reading without further ado. So while I do a couple of shuffles on camera, I've already pre-shuffled your cards, Aries, but we will do some more shuffles on camera. So while I do that, I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone who's been liking, commenting, and subscribing. And I really appreciate you sharing how these messages relate to your story, the path that you're currently on, the situations that are playing out for you. It means a lot to me, and I do read all of your comments. So thank you so much for taking the time to share that with me. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And don't forget to hit the notifications bell so you're informed as to when your next reading goes live. I think this will do it. So let's get the layout. So as we are currently in the afterglow of the new moon transit, I mean, by the time this reading goes out for you guys, it will already be, well on its way forward. But it's just a case of with the present energy in effect when I do this reading, I don't doubt that these messages may be related to your new moon reading. So I do recommend checking that out also, because those energies are going to be present for the next week or so. So I do recommend taking a look at that as well. Okay, so let's get into your reading, Aries. So the first card you got is the Magician. Okay, so I feel like this is very much the energy that you're embodying at this time, as well as it, of course it is, I associate it personally with Virgo energy, so you could be dealing with Virgo, but I feel like this is your energy at this time, right? That you are manifesting from a place of inner knowing. You're aware that there are some things, that have been taking place in your reality that have been quite difficult. There's been a lot of shifts, right? But I feel like you understand that it was freeing you up. It was clearing certain energies so that you can get into the magician mode, right? So you can really step into alignment and start bringing down your highest wishes into your 3D reality, right? So in order for that to take place, there was a certain level of clearing that needed to happen. And I feel like that's what you've been experiencing, particularly in the month of July. So now moving into August, you can start to begin manifesting those significant changes. Interesting. I like that so far. So in regards to what's crossing you at this time, so what's in the position of the challenge, sorry, I will get my words out. You have the 7 of Cups, so water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. You are exploring possibilities, your dreams. What are they now? What are your wishes? What is it that you would like to manifest into your life? There may have been certain things that you wanted previously that are no more, or perhaps you want to change in which, what form they take, right? So I feel like you're exploring your options, particularly if this has anything to do with your love life as well. I feel like for the majority of you, you're not in a relationship at this time. So whoever this reading is for, right? Because bear in mind, this is not going to resonate with every Aries. I feel like for the Aries that I'm picking up on, a lot of you are not currently in a relationship. You're maybe dating, so you could be exploring your possibilities when it comes to potential love, right? And also not just love, but I think it's very much to do with your creativity as well. I feel like you guys are particularly creative, or you have some kind of gift, right? And you're trying to explore different ways in which you can pursue that or explore that. So your challenge is to do more of that, is to put yourself out there and see what it is that you can manifest, or what you want to manifest, in what capacity, right? Because I feel like before, perhaps you've not really been giving it too much thought because you felt kind of restricted, whereas now that energy is opened up, you've been freed up so that you can start exploring those things. So now you need to really consider what it is that you want. What options are available to you, what opportunities are available to you, who do you want to explore them with, right? Especially when it comes to matters of the heart. So in regards to your recent past, you have the Knight of Cups, more water. So there may have been something that you were moving passionately towards. And again, I felt like there was a change in direction, or something stopped you in your tracks, right? Because there was something wasn't in alignment. And I feel like you also weren't quite in alignment at this time. So you had to focus on that more than anything. Whereas now you are being brought into alignment. As I said, the energy that's been clearing up, any residual energy from your past that's prevented you from moving forward when it comes to your creative endeavors, your passions, your love life, that's now being cleared up, right? But I feel like you really did want to pursue something that was very close to your heart, or something that you felt stirring your heart space, right? So there could have been a connection that you came across recently that you felt had the potential, right? And you were starting to perhaps even fall in love with this person, or you really had strong feelings for this person. You really liked certain things about them, so you wanted to pursue them, but something halted you in your tracks. So now you're looking at other possibilities, right? Because for whatever reason, perhaps this didn't come together because you were not in the right space. This person perhaps didn't have the same wishes as you did, so you're now exploring new possibilities, right? In regards to your near future, you have the Ten of Swords in reverse. So yeah, I feel like there may have been some pain caused by a possible rejection, or just the lack of action on the part of the other person that you was coming into contact with, okay? And I feel like perhaps, it's getting you to a point, like I said, a lot of this residual energy from the past is being cleaned up. Even recently, things that took place very recently, you're being freed up, okay? So whatever pain you experienced from this rejection, or from things just not coming together, your wishes not happening, not seeing the results that you wanted in a manifestation or in a creative endeavor, you're being called into this space of really working through what is it that caused you the most pain about this. What aspect of this brought you into the Ten of Swords mode, right? Because you are almost ready to let go of this completely, to be freed from this pain that you experienced. But in order for that to happen, you need to take a closer look at what exactly is causing your suffering, right? Because there is still pain in the background, right? You probably keep it beneath the surface, but it's only just beneath the surface. So that needs taking a closer look at, because perhaps you have not wanted to admit to yourself that you're actually in more pain than you care to allow people to let on, right? Or even admit to yourself, that there's more pain behind the scenes, just beneath the surface, than you would care to acknowledge. But it's important that you do, okay? Because that's what's going to help you release it. So in regards to your feelings, you have the Five of Swords in reverse. Air energy, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Yeah, you're done with mind games. Perhaps this person that you were trying to, come together with, someone that you made a serious offer of commitment to, or that you wanted to try and impress, try and show that, you have the qualities of a desirable partner, someone that's not going to be fleeting, that actually has emotional availability and stability. Perhaps this person took advantage of that in some way, you know, and wasn't actually as serious as you were. And you kind of just got to the point where you didn't want to even acknowledge this kind of back and forth playful energy where it's, you know, it's taking your feelings, your emotions, what you bring to the table for granted, right? So I feel like you're not even willing to engage possibly this person anymore. Perhaps you're not even willing to engage any kind of scenario that brings about that kind of energy, you know. And I think you know that this is not even a case of that perhaps this person, if you were dealing with a person, maybe they didn't realize just how manipulative they came across and how kind of dishonest they were being by leading you to believe it was one thing that it was actually another, right? And perhaps they didn't even realize they were doing it in that way, right? Perhaps they thought that for some reason that you weren't looking for something as stable as you say you were, or whatever. I don't know your story, but I feel like, you know, maybe they didn't see just how you know, sort of deceitful or manipulative it came across as, to the point where you're just kind of like, I'm not willing to engage you anymore. And then that's kind of forced them to take a look at this behavior, right? If it's not a relationship or a person that you were nearly coming together with, because I don't feel like it was actually a relationship. I feel like this was someone that you almost came into a relationship with, got into a commitment with. If it's not that, I feel like it's a case of, you know, you don't want to feel like everything that you try and do towards your happiness, every step that you take towards accomplishing, you know, a dream is just, you know, a constant challenge and battle and test of your endurance, to the point where you feel like giving up. You know, you don't want to be in that energy anymore. And even though you're still facing some challenges, you're not prepared to give up so easily, you know. So that's also what I'm getting from this. In regards to what's crowning you at this time, so what's within your power to affect, you have the Hanged Man, okay? So Pisces energy, really. But I feel like it's a case of you are looking at this, trying to look at this in the best way possible. I feel like you understand that a pessimistic approach to any situation is not going to harbor any good results, right? It's not going to bring anything positive to the equation. So regardless of the pain that you're feeling beneath the surface, regardless of, you know, the dishonesty or the lack of transparency that you received from a past person, or whatever the situation may be, you're still trying to put your best foot forward. You're still trying to come from that ever hopeful, optimistic mindset that you have, Aries. Generally, you guys are very good at that. You're optimists by default, generally, right? So even when you're experiencing something tough, yeah, you might complain about it, you might get angry, you know, your fiery energy can get stirred up. At the end of it all, you're still good, even when you're not, right? You still find a way to recalibrate and keep moving forward. You don't let anything stop you in your tracks. So I feel like that's what you're trying to do at the moment. You're trying to maintain a positive mindset, you know, while you're navigating these circumstances. And it's reminding you that that's the thing you do have the most control over. So it's definitely worth investing time and energy into maintaining an optimistic outlook, a positive outlook, even when things are maybe not so positive around you at any one time. But I feel like I said, things are shifting, you know, good things are coming to the forefront. It's just, there's always a transitionary period. And I feel like that's what you've been going through. So in regards to your advice, you have the Nine of Cups in reverse. So more water energy. You've got a lot of water in your reading, I have to say, Aries. So you could very well be dealing with a water sign, or were dealing with a water sign, or have water prominently in your chart. But regardless, I feel like with this being in the position of your advice, it's asking you to consider where you may be feeling lack, okay, emotional lack, and where you're trying to feel it externally. right? Because I feel like what you haven't come to realize yet is that only you can fill all 9 cups, right? The 10th cup is an outside influence, right? What brings you to the 10 is something external, right? But the 9 of cups is all internal. So you need to come to that awareness, because I feel like you're still seeking stimuli outside of yourself in order to make you feel whole and complete. That unless you obtain this, that, and the other, you're not whole and complete, right? But you need to come to this realization that you're whole and complete anyway. And that once you are in that energy and you understand your true value, what you truly are, and that you have everything that you need, when you fully integrate that into your belief system, that's when you'll really be in the energy of the 9 of Cups and be ready to accept a 10th cup, right? Okay, because I feel like you won't need to keep seeking it out. It's something that will be brought to you by the universe, right? When you're ready. But right now, you're not quite there yet. You're close, but you're not quite there. Okay, so in regards to your external influences, so this can be situations, people, environments, everything that's surrounding you at this time, okay? You have the 7 of Swords in reverse, some more air energy. Yeah, it's a case of you know who is deceitful and who's not, who you can trust and who you can't. I feel like your instincts are razor sharp at this time, right? So anything that looks like bullshit to you, you're just not entertaining it. You're not even addressing it, is what I feel. Because you're not prepared for the mind games. You're not prepared for the duel, right? Going back and forth when it's not going to lead to anything constructive, right? You're not prepared to do that. So anyone that comes up with that energy, you're just nipping it in the bud there and there. You're just simply removing them from your reality, You're not keeping them as a connection. So I feel like that could be what took place with someone very recently. But I feel like it's happening on all levels, in all aspects of your life. You're simply just done with the bullshit, is what I'm getting. You're just having a very no-nonsense approach to this. But like I said, I feel like the only thing you really have to look at here is it's not full-on self-deception, but there is a reluctance to admit that you have been going through something, And it's okay to admit that, even if it's just to yourself or a close friend or family member, okay? It's good to talk and get it off your chest, right? So in regards to your hopes, you have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So, okay, we have Earth energy here now. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You are this is typical Aries though. You guys are like, there's certain foundations that have to be laid slowly but surely, step by step, laying the groundwork, right? You don't want to do that. You just want to go full steam ahead. You want to get things moving, right? You're like, I've been waiting forever for things to come together and it's not happening. I'm done with playing the long game. I want to see results. I want to see results now, is what I'm getting from this. Because you're like, I understand there's certain things that is going to take time and I'm okay with that, but not everything. I don't want everything to be this uphill struggle. I want to start seeing results, right? In regards to your fears, you have the 4 of Cups in reverse, more water energy, so much emotions here, dealing with, mental conflict, but so much emotions, the positive and the negative, or everything being, uprooted and brought to the surface. You're afraid that whatever gets brought your way is not going to be of your benefit, right? That you're just going to find yourself in a new connection or find a new possibility where, you think there's potential with this person. There's a potential for something, to flourish, but they're just going to either be standoffish because they don't actually feel the same way as you do, or that they're simply going to acknowledge what you have to offer, but not bring anything of substance back to the table, right? I feel like anything that you feel like it comes your way in terms of an emotional connection is doomed to fail. It's not going to last. Even if you accept it, what would be the point? Because it's not going to last, right? There's going to be some deception, or something's going to fall apart, or, it's just not going to be what you want in some way. And I feel like as well, it's a case of, I know that I have things to be grateful for. But what I don't want is to put myself out there to receive a blessing, that is actually just, bad luck in disguise, right? And I'm kind of getting that from it for some reason. That's just what I'm feeling. Like, you're done with the bad luck is what I'm getting from this when it comes to matters of the heart. You want something good, something solid, something tangible. But at the same time, with this energy here, you're not willing to take the time to let it happen. You want it to happen like here and now, there and then, immediate. So that's something you may need to look at as well, Aries. Because, things take time, things grow over time. So you may have to look at that as well. So in regards to your potential outcome, you have the King of Swords, right? So this is air energy. Could be dealing with a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. I would say it's a strong Gemini energy here. But I feel like, it's a case of you need to be aware that, okay, it's good that you're kind of embodying this energy on some level, because you need to assert yourself. You need to be very clear on where you stand, what you're willing to accept, or what you're not willing to accept. And letting that be known to all, including yourself and the universe. Communicating what you expect, right? When it comes to certain things in your day-to-day life. I'm not talking about your relationships or connections, but how things should kind of move generally, in a way that's going to allow you to create stepping stones, building positive steps forward. Because as you know, if the foundation is not solid and it's rotten, then nothing's gonna form from that. So it's good to be very clear and outspoken on what it is that your needs are and what you expect, your expectations, your boundaries, and what it is you want to accomplish. But at the same time, it's a case of, because of all of these energies that are coming up when it comes to matters of the heart, it's kind of triggering this energy more, though, to the point where you may be too much in your left brain, right? Too much about, the logic of things, rather than allowing yourself to feel and just express from the heart. You're just coming from, a very left brain mindset of hard logic and reasoning, the intellect side of yourself, and that's it. Not the intuitive feeling aspect of yourself, even though there's so much emotion within you that's coming to the forefront at this time. So you just have to find the careful balance, okay? And like I said, that's a potential outcome. Nothing is set in stone. So it's better that you don't close yourself off entirely at a time where you might possibly need to open up to someone about how you've been feeling. Because with that Ten of Swords in reverse, I feel like you have been carrying a lot of pain, but you've not spoken to anyone about it. You're not even really properly admitting that to yourself. Like, you've been experiencing pain, but you're not willing to accept the extent of that pain to yourself. And that's really important that you do. It's the first step of healing it, right? Okay, so we're going into the clarifications now. So clarifying the Magician in your present circumstances, you have the, this would be the Knight, okay? So the Knight of Cups, okay? The Jack of Hearts. So yeah, you are you are manifesting all matters of the heart where you felt like, because this is exactly the same card as well, right? The tarot equivalent of this card. So if you were moving forward towards something with this same energy and you felt like that was halted and you couldn't progress forward with that energy, the weight has been lifted so that you can manifest, your heart's desire. And this energy is very much coming back into the forefront again. It's back in play. So that's why so much emotion is coming to the surface at this time, because there is things that you need to address. First of all, this pain that you're carrying, to release it so that you can allow this newness that is coming in very strongly for you, particularly in the month of August, that is coming up. So your true desires, your wishes, your passions, the things that you value above all else, that's coming up to the surface. That's very much going to be at the forefront of your mind. And I feel like that's why your left brain way of thinking is being triggered really badly, because of this pain here as well, and because it's pertaining to matters of the heart. So your rational mind is trying to overcompensate for the wounds to your emotional body, essentially. Okay. So in regards to the challenge, the Seven of Cups, exploring those desires, those wishes, you have the Queen of Hearts, which is the Queen of Cups, so water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Could be dealing with any of those signs, or you could have it in your chart. But regardless, I feel like with this Queen of Cups clarifying the Seven of Cups, you want that vulnerability. You want to be able to be vulnerable with someone. You want someone to be able to be vulnerable with you. Not playing mind games, not allowing you to, leading you down one track when actually things are very different and they want to walk a different path with you. You want that vulnerability. You want to know that there is true love in the connection, right? Especially in the matters of the heart. When it comes to your aspirations, I feel like, you want something that brings true value into your life, true abundance, happiness, emotional fulfillment, something that makes you feel good, that gets you excited to jump out of bed in the morning, that you feel like this is it, this is what I've been searching for. So in regards to the recent past, this the Knight of Cups here, which I feel like is a very prominent card in your reading, to be honest, along with the Magician. You have the Four of Spades, okay, in reverse. So the Four of Spades is the Four of Swords in reverse. Healing, right? Healing needs to take place. So whatever you was bringing towards this person or this connection or towards this dream, there was still a weight attached to it. And that's why partially that manifestation didn't take place in that format, with that person, in that situation, with that company, within that project, that offer, the contract, whatever it was, right? Whether it's in love or work or, passions. I feel like it didn't come together because there was still some residual energy from a past connection or a past experience where you were wounded, right? Or you felt a certain level of responsibility towards, because something was not healed within that connection or within that situation. Something was left up in the air, or something wasn't fully healed. So you took that energy towards this new connection and it resulted in a misfired manifestation. It didn't come together in the way that you wanted, right? So that's why it's important to address the healing as well. You have to do that either simultaneously or before you move towards something new, okay? It has to take place, otherwise that's what happens pretty much. So in regards to your near future, the Ten of Swords, again, a very prominent energy. Ten of Swords in reverse, you have the Nine of Clubs in reverse. So this is the Nine of Wands in reverse. Yeah, this is talking about you getting into a space where you don't feel wounded, that you don't feel like you're having to soldier on despite your affliction, despite the weight that you're carrying, on your shoulders, that has caused you a lot of emotional turmoil, a lot of mental strife, right? It's getting to a place where you can finally release that. You can just express yourself, be vulnerable, be open, be seen, be understood, right? That's where you're being moved towards. But in order to do that, you first have to acknowledge what this pain is, how bad it is, why it's there, what needs to be done to help you release it. Okay. So clarifying your feelings, the 5 of Swords in reverse here, you have the 7 of Diamonds. So the 7 of Diamonds is the 7 of Pentacles, right? So you're now having to look at what it is that you have, what it is that you brought to the table, right, in this situation. Because you are very abundant. I feel like you bring a lot of things to the table. You have a lot to offer, right? But you weren't necessarily trying to offer it to the right connection. And perhaps the reason, again, it wasn't coming together because you still have inner work and inner healing to do, right? And you're not really focusing on that in the same level as perhaps you were in the past. So that's, oh, sorry if you could hear that, was my stomach. So perhaps that's why this is coming up in the forefront for you now. It's triggering you to do that inner work, that inner healing, right? So that this situation doesn't arise again with a new person. Or that, you know, if you do that work and you get into this place of feeling capable, confident, knowing your true value, knowing exactly what it is that you bring to the table, understanding that, you know, you can just show up, be completely your authentic self, and, you know that you are deserving of this opportunity, you know, especially if it's in regards to a career or a dream, that's when you're more likely to attract it. That's when you'll be able to properly manifest it. Okay. So in regards to what's crowning you, the Hanged Man, you have the 8 of Hearts in reverse. So this is the 8 of Cups, right? So yeah, you're understanding now, you know, what needs, like I said, what needs addressing. You're understanding, you can see things from a more clear perspective. You're understanding what is needed to be done, or you will come to that understanding, right? So I feel like you already know what you bring to the table. You know what needs to be done in terms of inner healing. And yeah, I think that, you know, walking away from that or distancing yourself from the work that needs to be done is not going to help you moving forward. The work needs to be done, okay? You need to take that time to yourself to do that introspective work. Because, yeah, it's very much at the forefront. You can see that this is what needs to take place at this moment in time. Okay. So in regards to your advice here, the 9 of Cups in reverse, you have the 9 of Swords essentially in reverse. So yeah, you're being asked to look at, you're being asked to look at why you think you need something outside of yourself in order to be fulfilled, right? Why is it that you always turn to external stimuli rather than addressing your inner world? I think maybe for a number of you, you've been avoiding doing some shadow work, but you've also been avoiding this spiritual path that you're being called towards, right? There is hesitation. There is a certain level of wanting to turn a blind eye, I feel, to what needs to be done, right? Because you know that the signs and signals are there. Perhaps you've been getting a lot of weird dreams as well. And because of some of the themes that are coming up, some of the messages and the symbolism that's coming up is quite intense. You're wanting to turn a blind eye to it. You know that that's not necessarily the right path, right? If you want to overcome any feelings of anxiety, stress, fear, upset, you know, pain, you need to address it head on. And that comes from an imbalance within, right? So you need to address that in order to get into a place of alignment, peace, fulfillment, joy, right? Feeling good on your own. And then you can start manifesting a new connection or manifesting your true wishes, right? So in regards to your external influences, the 7 of Swords in reverse, you have the Jack of Clubs, right? Jack of Clubs in reverse. So that's essentially the Knight of Wands in reverse. Yeah, you're done with it. You know when someone's just full of bullshit. You know when someone's just playing mind games, when they don't want anything serious, when they're not as legitimate with their feelings as they say they are. When it's just about, you know, lust, essentially, not love. When the energy isn't right, you know, when it's not coming together because there's a misalignment of vibration, but also, yeah, the energy and the intent behind it. Intent is very, very important. So you're aware now. You can spot when someone's not being truthful, or when the energies are not aligned. You know, you don't want to deal with someone who's manipulative, that's not going to be faithful, that's going to tell you what you want to hear one moment and be gone the next, that's going to, you know, only really bring, you know, sexual satisfaction, and that's about it, really. That's what I'm getting from that. And you don't want that, so you're cutting all of that out, pretty much. Anyone that's associated with that energy, you're just not even entertaining. Because you're looking for something more than that, I feel. Like, if you were okay with just like casual dating or whatever, then that's fine. Then they wouldn't have to resort to those tactics. But I feel like these people, or a certain person you've been connecting with recently, especially if you are dating, actively dating, I feel like a lot of them know that you're seeking something more, even if you haven't like stated that directly. They know that you're seeking something more. So that's why they're trying to manipulate the situation into a way that it appears that it could be something more without actually giving that commitment. So that's why you're just cutting all of that shit out. In regards to your hopes, the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, you have the Six of Spades in reverse. So this is the Six of Swords in reverse. Yeah, you are, wow, Aries, man. Oh gosh. Yeah, you don't want to do things slowly and surely and amicably and playing by the book, you know, doing things by the rules. You're like, fuck that. I want to start seeing results now. I want to start seeing significant changes now. You know, I'm done with playing by the books. I don't want to play by the rules. I'm not doing things by the book no more. I want things to move forward. I want to see significant changes, you know. I'm moving ahead, 110%, and whoever's coming along the way needs to be able to catch up, pretty much. That's what I'm feeling like from it. That's what you're wanting. You're wanting someone who can match your pace, pretty much, and that wants the same thing as you. But I feel like as well, when it comes to your career, for those of you where that resonates the most, I feel like you're wanting to you're wanting to climb the ladder fast. You're sick of like taking 2 steps forward or 4 steps back. You want to be like taking 5 steps forward at a time now. You're tired of waiting is what I'm getting. And then in regards to your fears, there's 4 of Cups in reverse. You have the 3 of Clubs. So this is the 3 of Wands. Yeah, you're kind of just like, I'm done chasing something that looks good and shiny on the surface, but is actually not truly meant for me. That doesn't actually, that doesn't call in what I actually want, right? It isn't off the energy that I'm looking for. That isn't giving me the long term or something more emotional substance, right? I'm done with that. I'm just going to create my opportunity and allow it to come in. I am just going to be open to that fact, because I'm done. I don't want to be in this situation where I put myself out there just for all of this mess to happen again. Like, I'm not doing it anymore, So what I want to focus on is just doing what I can to put myself ahead. I don't want to wait around for, for the perfect person to come in or the perfect opportunity to come in for it to only be more of the same bullshit, right? Only for it to be more of the same bullshit. So I just want to get myself out there and see what happens, pretty much, and do all that I can. I don't want to wait on others. I don't want to wait on, you know, the perfect moment. I'm just gonna put myself out there and focus on what I want, right? Okay, and then in regards to your potential outcome, the King of Swords here, you have the King of Clubs in reverse. So this is the King of Wands in reverse. So that's interesting. So I feel like, yeah, so you got the King of Swords clarified by the King of Wands in reverse. Yeah, you are not taking any bullshit. You're like, you're just in this mode. You're like, I feel like you're in warrior mode. You know, you're just ready to fight whoever you have to fight. You're willing to fight the universe if that's what it takes to get yourself to where you want to be. But I feel like, you know, part of that is a fear response. It's been triggered by some undesirable events, right? So you need to look at that, because ultimately your true energy is, you're more in this energy, okay? Aries, the King of Wands in the upright, but you're showing as the King of Wands in reverse, even though this is your energy. So I feel like, yeah, you need to address the wounds to your emotional body, because I feel like your ego is taking a hit as well. So that's going to mess up your manifestations if you don't address those wounds, okay? Tend to your emotional body, you know, tend to your ego. Do the shadow work. Understand that it's okay to be upset when things go wrong or don't go the way you'd hoped, or when someone deceives you in some way or plays with your emotions. Of course, you're going to be upset, right? But especially when you already had wounds from the past that weren't healed, it just opens that wound even further. So you need to address that, okay? And then that's what will get you back on track and back into your energy, so you can manifest this newness that's trying to come in desperately for you at this time. So it's not like your prayers or your wishes are not being heard. It's just that, you know, there's some work that you need to do on your side for it to be able to come in. All right, so I really hope this helps you. I know there was a lot of different messages coming through, so sorry if it got a little bit confusing, but just take the parts that resonate for you, okay? Because there were a few different messages for different people coming through. So do let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you found this useful, give it a thumbs up. As I said earlier, please don't forget to subscribe. I'd love to see you part of my online community here. And yeah, so we'll see what happens in your next reading. I really hope that, you know, you're able to find the time and space to do the work. Of course, you have to make time for that. And that, you know, it's okay to be vulnerable, to have moments of vulnerability, feeling like, you know, you may be emotionally sensitive at this time, you know, while you're doing this work. Just make sure that you don't isolate yourself while you're doing it. It's important to have, you know, a good support system while you're working through these energies. And yeah, so with that said, I'm sending you so much love, so much support, and I will speak to you guys soon. Bye.